Good evening and welcome from sunny Cornwall. Chris Upton in the house. Simon Spruce, good evening, everybody. First in the house again. Obviously, you've got nothing better to do. Sprucey the Brucey. Kieran Evans, good evening to you, Kieran. Robert Jeffrey, Denver Skinner, good evening to you, Denver. So, I got to get this right. Alan Hurd, not Alan Herald. I had to get that right, didn't I? Do you know what? My brain is being cooked today. I've been so busy dealing with so many different people. Yeah, Alan Hurd is in the house. I still spelled his name wrong when we were talking the other day. I'm sorry, Alan. Julian Lees, good evening to you. Christopher, good evening. Michael McLaughlin, good evening to you, sir. Steve Pace, Graham Allison, Daniel Quinn's in the house. Brett's in the house. John Wilson's in the house. How about that? William George Webb's in the house. And you got nothing better to do, William. I thought you were listening to Bart Bellon. Brilliant, good trainer, but I find him hard to listen to sometimes. His accent. And Sol's in the house as well. So Sue said to me, what did you say before we came on? She's gone very quiet. She said something. Be wise or something, you said, didn't you? Be wise. She says.
No, I said just be wise, because they're all expecting you to dish the shit and everything. So disappoint them.
I'm under the little lady's thumb in the background tonight. So I've got to be a good boy. I've been told to be a good boy. So what should we talk about? What should we talk about?
Rafa.
Who?
Rafa.
Rafa. Should we talk about Rafa? Rafa. Do you know this last night I went in to feed him because Rafa's really chocolatey, dark chocolate. In the kennel where he sits in the back of the kennel, sometimes you can't see him. You have to call him and he'll come forward. And he's such a friendly lad. And I went and fed last night because we came back after dropping him off, and Brett, and I went, Rafa, and I thought, he's not there. Me little Raff's not there. And then this morning, went out the kennel, I thought, he's not there neither. And it's funny, you become so used to some of them, don't you? And he had such a character, such a good character. Anyway, Brett sent me a couple of videos today, so I'm going to critique it on here. No, I'm not. He sent me a couple of videos of doing a little bit of work with Rafa, and he had Rafa sitting up lovely, and he threw the dummy out, and Rafa didn't move and all that. And that's what we expect. But what he did do, once he come in and took the retriever off him, he bent right over the top of him to stroke him, to say, good lad. And Rafa, if you look at the body language, Brett, looked up at you and went, what are you doing? Because I never do that. Because if you're a trainer and you're training other people's dogs and you do that, that can be slightly intimidating. Not that you were being intimidating, you were actually trying to make a bond with him, but I watched him look up at you. And Penny will tell you the same thing. If you show him too much affection at the right moment, that dog will play you up a little bit. But it was lovely to see. Thanks very much indeed, Brett, for sending it. Lovely. And it was great to see you yesterday, Brett, and your dear lady. And what a freaking place that what was it? West Brom Albion football ground. Jesus Christ, it's like freaking Beirut. It's like where I used to live in Derby. It reminded me of Beirut. There were cars going up the road like lunatics. It was like multiracial. Can you make multi-ethnic, ethical? I don't know. I give in. Anyway, it's West Brom, isn't it? Not a very affluent area just around there, is it? I don't think so. Anyway,
James Townsend said, wise words. So George Jarvis says, Sue, the wise are. And Robert Jeffrey said, Sue, keep them on a short leash. So there you go. Disappoint the lot of them out there. And just. All
right, Sue's going to take over tonight. I'm off. Bye-bye. See you all later. Get on with it, you lot. You have your own discussion. Bye. See you all later. Yeah, that's all right. I know. When I've stepped over the mark. I know I've stepped over the mark and upset the whole trial world, but unfortunately I haven't. So do you think Chris Upton's going to shut the frig up? No, he's not. He's not going to. No one's going to dictate to him, not even his darling wife. So you lot, if you don't like it, you can leave now. There's 60 people in the house. And we'll get more in a minute when I start ranting. So what I'm going to do, everyone, do you know what this is? This is an e-collar, everybody. So there you go, look. It's on. Who's in charge of it? There you are. Come here. You're in charge of it. It's on. Right. So if Chris Upton steps out of line, so you can fry him. I can't even get around my neck. Do you know what that means, don't you? I'm a big fat bastard.
Got big head.
No, big neck, you silly moo. You know you're pushing it now. What are you doing now?
I'm looking for the remote.
Well, I threw it over there. It's on the floor, so don't go freaking.
Where's the highest setting? Hang on.
100.
Get the lid. Oh, hang on. Let me just...
Jesus Christ, everyone. So Chris Upton's got the e-collar on. I'm going to put it.
I need to check where the highest setting is.
I tell you what, if she hits me with that, I'm going to punch her. Can I say that live on TV? Can I say that? Or am I a bully to women? So no laughing, you lot. If I freaking jump out my chair, right? If I jump out my chair and she zaps me. Ow, Susan! Stop it. You little cowbag. She just zapped me, everyone.
I don't even know where the settings
Well, don't press the buttons then unless you work the settings out. She just freaking zapped me in the freaking neck, everyone. Press it, Sue. Let's see if it works, says Steve. Hit him, Sue. Piss myself laughing. Stop it! Susan, don't
work.
Yeah, it fucking did. Stop it.
Oh, I feel. Let me get the settings right.
Yeah, well, she got her glasses. She's turned it right up. I'm a big pussy. I am. Honestly, I don't like pain. I'd rather if someone wants to give me pain, I'd rather give it back rather than take it. Look at them. The bastards are all going. Do it. Do it.
Did you say the highest you can go?
You lot, sit down and stop it.
40, you said. Didn't you? The highest you can go?
No, I said I can go 40 and I don't want any more, Sue.
Should we try 50 tonight?
Susan, stop it. Do you know what?
I did 100, dear.
I didn't say I want to do 100, but if that's what you really want to do, Susan, you do it, darling, because I've got total faith in you. Ooh. Turn it up to 60, says Peter Taylor. Sit down. You're giving her power. And a woman with power is a dangerous tool. Honestly, you lot, I'll tell you. Hit me, baby, one more time, says Barry E. Sue, ask him if he would like to give you a refill and pip him in. Recall, not refill. I thought you meant refill, sorry. Yeah, John Wilson, you're lucky you're not on Patreon because I just take that comment off. He said he could take 75 soon without even flinching. Test him. Stop it! Jesus Christ! It's not funny. And everyone will go, well, that serves him right because that's what happens to the dogs. No, it doesn't happen to the dogs. If you watch my videos, it doesn't happen to the dogs. But guess what, everybody? This is an excuse. This is an excuse to try and get yourself out of trouble when you open your mouth and say something negative about somebody. It's as simple as that. I fell out with the Cornwall Club 10 years ago, and I've moved on. I've gone training people, gone training dogs. I'm not interested in the trial world that much, as long as they don't give me no shit. But guess what? I've had no business around here for the last 10 years since I showed the corruption and a number of people left the committee for the Cornwall Club. I was cleared of any wrongdoing, and I was naive. I thought they'd bring me back in and go, would you like to judge for us again, Chris? Because you used to judge. You were good enough to judge 25 years or 20 years ago. Would you like to judge for us now? But no. The new people who went in wanted the power. So they manipulated everything for the power. So it's no different than the old school. The old school went out. What happens is they start off perhaps on the right foot. And then what happens? The power comes in and they go, stop it, Sue. I said I wouldn't talk about it. No, I'm going to carry on talking about it. You can zap me as long as you want. You can fry me for 15 minutes if you want. Fry me for... Okay. Did you see that twitch? Do you see that freaking twitch then?
I'm just checking it's working.
Yeah, it's working. Okay, so if I say anything negative, she's going to hit me Hit me one more time, as they say, baby.
Well, he did say, so remember when he was deleting comments on Crowcast? No, we can have payback.
Yeah, this is it, innit? This is it, everyone.
Nice one, John. Thanks for reminding me.
You've got to realise, it's got to be on tight. You just got to get 2 fingers in there. What I believe in this e-collar is if you don't teach people how to use it properly, it gets abused. If you allow people to run a club and they let the power go to their heads and they start abusing their power, sometimes you've got to take the power off them. I'm not looking for a coup, a political fallout that I want to ruin a club. And like I said to you today on Facebook and Patreon, I've said my piece. I've reported it to the club. I'm a member of the club, and we now got to wait and hope that they do the decent thing. So I want to move on and talk about dog training. One of the things that they're going out of their way out there and saying, the only reason they said things negative about you is because you're now using this, the e-collar. What a load of bollocks. If they've watched the videos, and they do, and I can tell you dog trainers who use the e-collar but won't admit it, if you use it the way I show you, you have a wonderful dog because of it. As simple as that. Do you need to use it on every dog? No, I don't think you do. But what I'm saying to everybody, if we don't talk about discipline, and this is how this all kicked off, it was about discipline. We are talking about discipline. Wasn't it wonderful? Gary Wilkes came on, a knowledgeable man who come from the rescue centres, who got into clicker training and treat training. If you can do it all with love and affection and throw in food, then don't you think he would be using that? Don't you think he'd be a very popular man with the knowledge and understanding and the wit he's got? Why is he not that popular in this country? Because he talks about punishment. He talks about correction. As soon as somebody, hang on, someone's asking me to zap it. David Jones, he says, zap it, Sue. Stop it. No. Got some good friends. There's another dog been legally dispatched today in Wales attacking sheep. There you go. There you go, Karen. You're dead right. So dogs are being put down because the positive, and there's no such thing as positive only, but the positive brigade, we'll call them, can't stop the behaviors, right? I was against these things, and I will publicly say this. And guess what? If I lose 50 people off my Patreon site because I talk about the subjects other people don't want to talk about, then that's the price I've got to pay. But I have a right to defend my good name and my business. If I've been prosecuted for any animal cruelty or any cruelty to women, or, you know, I have a right to defend myself if somebody wants to throw a punch. But at the end of the day, death before discomfort is not the way forward. There you go. Death before discomfort is not the way forward. And did you see that, what I put up on Facebook about death? I couldn't even spell it right. I hope someone, and this is how they spell someone, and I'm dyslexic, so this is quite difficult. SOMEOEM. Hope someone shoots you soon, scum. Stuck up snob. I hope someone rips you limb from limb. Dickhead. That's what the comments were from one girl on the internet who's obviously a positive only trainer who wants to express herself in such a classy way. I don't debate with people like that. I don't go after people like that. Never mind that Capri. Stop it, Paul. Honestly. You know, they say I hate women. I like the Capri, but I like what was standing in front of it a little bit more. Don't change your principles for the sake of a few snowflakes. Exactly, Michael. Because I believe, Michael, that I would rather be respected by the right people for saying it the way it is than a lot of people for feeding them bullshit and smarties. As simple as that. Did I rubbish Gary Wilkes about clicker, markers and stuff like that? No. He is good at that. That is his speciality, his skill. But he also knows how to stop unwanted behaviors because he's been training dogs for a long, long time. So I invited somebody in who's not exactly Chris Upton or Chris Upton's clone. We are different people. We can have difference of opinion, but still agree on so much. And that's what dog training should be about. That's what dog debate should be about. Gary Wilkes' feed was fantastic. You need to arrange those little more often. Do you know what? I think sometimes you can have too much of a good thing. Love the Gary interview. Has an instinct for the issue, and I fetched up my first GSP because I spent 4 years doing positive only. Thank you, so. And that's exactly why, with my knowledge and my understanding, I could understand so much of what he says. And yet, the intellectual words that he sometimes uses, I have to admit, I'm dyslexic. It goes over my head slightly. I have to look up some words. I have to Google the word to find out what he means on a few things. See, Michael says, Gary Wilkes will use anything that gets results, real insight. Exactly. And that is why I will promote that man. And we've made him an honorary member in Corleone Talk. Because just imagine we had 50 trainers out there, as open and transparent as he is. You can look at his work and you can think, no, that's not for me, but that bit is and that bit is. But what I'm saying to you is, I think she's giving on me now. I'm going to take it off. I think she's giving on me. I'm not.
Hang on.
You little cow.
Did it work?
Yeah, it did work. She loves it. She actually loves it. But I keep telling you, she's like that in the bedroom. She's like that in the bedroom. She just loves a little bit of pain. And that's what gets me in trouble. I talk about subjects that other people won't. There's nothing wrong with a bit of pain as long as there's a little bit of trust in there as well. I enjoyed that, Sue. Can we do it again tonight? Can we do that when the cameras are off? Around my ball bag. That would be really exciting, wouldn't it? So now I've just lost 2 customers because I mentioned ball bag. Okay, so that's the snowflakes gone. We got rid of the snowflakes. I honestly do not want to become the most famous dog trainer out there. What I want, does it have vibrate? Sue's got a few things that has vibrate. Can you talk about that, Sue? See, she said, you're lucky you've not got that collar on. I didn't say that with the collar on, did I? That would have been 100. Right, you see the marks, everybody? Can you see how painful it was? You see how I spilt my wine? Do you know, that is a sign that something's hurting me when you start spilling the wine. Who's a ball bag? Stop it, Ian. Honestly, you lot.
Yeah, but the problem is, just before you, Ian was saying, Evelyn, sorry I'm late. He missed all he heard was your pullback.
Oh, he missed it. Ian Gaunt missed it.
Sorry, Ian, missed the best bit.
Honestly, with that tight t-shirt and them tight trousers he comes on down there, honestly, right said Fred and all that, I reckon he's into pain. He seemed to get over that COVID rather easy, didn't he? I can smell roasted nuts. Yes, Julian. But the thing is, everybody, we can have a laugh and we don't get very triggered and offended, do we? I can have a laugh with most people. It doesn't mean that I want to be rude to people.
For some people, the smelling salts will come out.
Yeah, the smelling salts will come out. Yeah. Stop it. I mean, I could have been offended straight away with what Gary Wilkes said about redcoats. I could have took offense straight away and gone on the attack. But I like people with a sense of humor. Why can't we have people that they're not following, they're not a clone following other people? In this dog world, I was speaking to someone tonight. I'm not going to mention who it was, but they're a well-respected judge. And they were talking about another well-respected judge who trains cockers. And he said to me, I asked him, how many cockers, because we were talking about noise with cockers. And he said, how many cockers have cockers got much noise? And this other person said to him, yeah, I go through 40 to 50 dogs before I found one good one. Is that advertised out there on the big wide world to say to people, by the way, the percentage of getting a good cocker to win the championship or be right up there and make a fantastic stud dog and make lots of money, the dedication that these people have to go through of going through a number of dogs before they find the dog that's got no problems, no noise. Now, I can tell you with the dogs that have come here, as in cockers, the percentage of dogs that got noise with cockers are far greater than spaniels. As soon as I say that, I'm not saying he digs old, he just sells them on. He doesn't bury them. Well, I wouldn't think he does. He just sells them on. But just imagine how many cockers are out there being sold on by these film stars. They've got noise, and you people, you vulnerable people, are racing out there and buying them. So that's exactly why. But as soon as Chris Upton puts his head above the parapet, like above the parapet, Chris Upton got to take the flak. If I critique a video in my Patreon group, I'm not putting it up for the world to see. It's for the group to learn from. If we discuss that video, it's not that I'm going out of my way to try and belittle or rubbish or attack some other trainer. It's a learning curve. And I think what Gary Wilkes said was, if you get paid and you're a professional and you put your work out there, whether you talk about it or whether you are promoting yourself as a trainer, and really you're not. What is a professional, everybody, if we think about it? What is a professional? If a woman goes round pubs looking for men and giving them free sex, is that a prostitute? No. She just might be very horny. She just may be highly sex-drived. And is there anything wrong with that? Well, I wouldn't want my daughter doing it, really. But at the end of the day, that would be my daughter's choice, wouldn't it? So what if she, every time she picks up a bloke, she says, look, you can have sex with me, but it's going to cost you 30 quid. Let's say 25. Let's say 25. Now, some people would call that Tom. Some people call it a prostitute. Some people would say it's a service. Some would say it's a professional. Right? What about dog training? No, if you take the money, you take the money for the service. Exactly. You're giving a service, aren't they? Some would say they're escorts. Are they? Right, we talked about Volta Breeze earlier, didn't we? Anyway, so what I'm saying is, as soon as you say to someone, no, I'm not a professional, but I charge people £25 an hour. Sorry, I don't think the tax man's going to think much of that, is he? Especially if you're not declaring it. Oh, and it's only pin money. Only do it once in a blue moon. So don't go into other people's worlds who are professionals and train people for money and talk about it and put themselves up there, because it's simple, isn't it? It's really simple. We don't need to name names, but we can talk openly, can't we? I love talking openly because debate is a fantastic thing. What would happen if we did another live feed and offered a certain person the chance to come on a live feed and give their side of the story to show that I'm lying? Because if, say, Ian Openshaw or Audrey Ladyman, or, well, I can mention any major trainer that I know of who trains dogs for money, who are professionals, call themselves professionals. If they train your dog for you and they run your dog in competition, does that make you a top dog trainer? It's an open question, isn't it? I'm not mentioning any names, am I? Not mentioning any names, but, you know, we've got 78 people in here. You know, if you're bored, leave. Leave now. Put a thumbs down and off you trot. Right? Because guess what? We're talking dogs. We're talking about education here. So it's really important to me. My reputation, my good name, I like to protect. But I go so far with certain people and I warn them. And then I actually have to do sometimes what I say. I will expose you. Now, I don't think that's bullying if you don't get the message and leave me alone. Because I don't have customers from round here, because my name is shit round here for one reason. Not because I've done anything, because of the bullshit they spread and how they work. It's as simple as that. Get real, everybody.
And the ones you do, they say, don't say I've done.
Yeah, Paul Jarvis, same with the horse racing, trainer gets a horse fit for the owner. I train dogs that are out in the kennel that you can't see. Because if the owner says, I don't want anyone to know that you're training it, Chris, because I'll never get an award in a trial, that's great. I won't tell anyone. But guess what? If they then run around like with a halo on and they climb that ladder of success and they start telling everybody how wonderful they are and how fucking crap everyone else around them are, looking to make a living out of rubbishing other people, then I might tell people who trains what. So all is not fair in love and war. And I warned you not to go after Chris Upton. Simple as that. I've got 83 people in here now, because all those people in the jungle drums are all banging. It's banging all around the country at the moment, because how do I know? Because people have contacted me and go, this is so funny. Has she apologized yet? Doesn't have to apologize. Has to. Doesn't have to. Take the consequences if you don't apologize. Simple as that. There's no bullying. And it's nothing to do with the e-collar. Now, let's ask a simple question. But we're not talking about any one particular person's name, because I don't want them to think that they're being bullied. I'd hate somebody. Respect is free. Thank you, John Wilson. That's all I want. Respect for what I've done. Respect for what I've done, that I've come away from the bitchiness in the trial world, because I can stand on my own. I do not need film stars to support me. But guess what? They don't know how many film stars do support me, and how many film stars are prodding me with a stick saying, give it them. Say it the way it is, Chris. They've got no idea, because guess what? There's confidentiality, isn't there? But there comes a point where you push the bracket, you push the boundary. If you said stuff to me, you better meant it, because don't come into my world. I don't want false people. If you want to come into my world and talk to me in Messenger or in private, and you talk shite, and I find that out, I have every right to use that how I see fit, because to me, you're scum. You're just a troublemaker. So it's dead simple, isn't it? 81 people in here. It's funny, isn't it? Look at my videos. As soon as there's been a bit of controversy, what happens? The video views go up. Why? Because they just can't wait to watch it. It's like a soap opera, isn't it? But I don't want that. I just want to train people with their dogs and be respected for training people and saying it the way it is, for my honesty, my integrity.
If you say it, you should own it.
See what she said? She's getting braver. If you say it, you should own it. Does Chris look bothered? Does Chris look stressed? No, he's not. But he does get bothered when my wife gets upset. And you can hear the conversation that she gets upset. And she didn't want the phone call put up. But I said, we've got to show the people what you're going through to try and stop this. So make an example of one person. And there's no point making an example of, what's his name? Well, his name was Tom, wasn't it? If everyone watched me Facebook. He's on the committee. He's a young lad. He shot his mouth off. There's a number of things being investigated, so I don't want to say too much. But to come into my world and tell me what I'm doing wrong, I think he got a bit of a Roger in, didn't he? Now, some would say that was cruel. No, it wasn't cruel. It was go away. I didn't go onto everybody onto the committee and bitch about them on their Facebook site. That's my platform, everyone. My platform. What does it say? This is a happy place. If you don't want me to be rude to you, don't be rude to me. So when somebody starts telling me that I'm a bully, well, look how fast I sorted him out. But did I do it in a nice, kind way? Or did I do it the old-fashioned way? Like I would have when in my teens? No, because we grow up and we have to remain within the law of this land, don't we? And my message to Tom, if he's listening, because he's not listening on my Facebook anymore, because I don't want people on there like that. And I've not mentioned his second name. I could, but we just call him Tom, shall we? My message to Tom is, if you go around threatening to burn people's premises down, Tom, and you're a licensed gun holder, and I've seen you with your gun, you could find yourself in real trouble. How about that? Ian Dunn's a legend, isn't he? That Ian Dunn is a legend. And what they're saying is, we want that person's name. Well, we have to protect Ian Dunn, don't we? Because Ian Dunn might want to run in competition in a minute, and he might want to run down in sunny Cornwall. If Ian Dunn's name comes up on the freaking list, he's never going to get a run, is he? Done got done. Right? Simple as that. Loved every second of it. Ian Dunn. Funny as fuck. Exactly. But guess what? I don't want that guy in my life. So what did I do? I just blocked him. So what did he do then? He then got some of his nuggets to come in. His friends to come in. And I let them in. And if they're rude, they go out. And then when I looked at them and I found out they're friends with him and they come up with the same sort of rubbish. They weren't rude to me, so I wasn't rude to them. But I just blocked them and sent them back out to oblivion and beyond to get on with their lives. They've not been in my life in the last 10 years. They know nothing about my life. They know nothing about me and Sue. And then what happens? What happens? The Scottish play suddenly sees a chance to get involved. Oh my Jesus God. 300, 400, I think 500 miles away, isn't it? 500 miles away? 500 miles away, and wants to get involved with the Duchy Club and give them support.
Yeah, but don't forget she doesn't watch your videos.
She wants to give them support to Tom, who wants to go around and burn people's houses down. Well, couldn't be funnier, could it? Couldn't be further away. So she doesn't like bullies. Well, you'll have to watch this space then, won't you, Macbeth? You'll have to watch this space. Hang on, I'm glad I got that electric collar on because Sue said, I told you to keep calm. Well, I am keeping calm, aren't I? But you could chop my arms and legs off. I could be still jumping on my stump, giving it the way it is. It's as simple as that. So let's go over to dog training now, shall we? Because you're all leaving now. Look, there's 84 of you in the house. You're all leaving. I can't believe I've only got 17 thumbs up. What if I started talking about clicker training and sticking your tongue down the dog's throat? Can we go down that road? Or do you prefer sort of, okay, let's have the questions and answers tonight. We've gone through 31 minutes.
How's Rafa getting on, Brett?
Oh, I just see, but I don't know everybody, but you couldn't write this shit. I swear you couldn't write this shit. But this shit sticks with idiots who believe it. That's the problem, everyone. But Chris Upton is fighting back. And he has to fight back because I'm not having it. I'm going to expose people for what they are if they go after me. If you don't go after me and you want someone to train your dog, let's just say your name is McNally, the little scally. Let's just say your name is McNally, the little scally. If you've moved in with a bloke and he's having his dog run by an 8-panel judge, film star, and you've made up a champion, well done. Nice dog. Maybe a nice dog. But you didn't do it. But you want to live off that, do you? Do you think you get respect in the same way as someone training an 8-week-old puppy or breeding a dog and winning with it? I mean, I'm trying to be as rude as I can on here within the law of the land. No, I'm not. We got more people coming in because they love it. I don't want people to love me on a rant, but I do want people to say, there's one thing about that bloke. He says it the way it is, and he says, stick it up yourselves if you don't like it. Because guess what? I just killed another 2 fairies. That's what happens. And I don't mean gay people, because I know what they say. He's now talking about fairies. No, he's not. He's talking about the fairies down the garden. Right? I don't believe in fairies. Oh, my God, another one's gone. Another one's gone. I'm sorry, but if you don't train the dog, you get no credit. Well, you do get credit because you can go up and pick the fucking cup up. But guess what? How many people do you know, Karen? Earthbound Pheasant. That's it. Thanks for that. Thanks for getting me out of court there, Earthbound. You keep putting up them little fairies. Thank you. If you get somebody to train your dog for you, and you then run it in competition, and you win, guess what you are? You're a handler. You're not a gun dog trainer. You're a handler, right? It's like me getting in a racing car and going around a circuit in it. Well, if someone's in a Mini and I'm in a racing car, I might win it. I might win it. It's a farce. Exactly, Karen. It's a farce. But we have the right to put our head above the parapet and say it the way we see it. If people don't want to follow me, we got 84 people in here now. They're all coming in now. If you don't like it, don't follow me. It's a free world. This is my platform. I'm sitting here down in sunny Cornwall, and you guys know, everybody who supports me knows that the shit I've had to go through and how I have to fight for my good name. At the end of the day, how many videos have I put out compared to everybody else who likes to talk about it but doesn't put the videos out? I put my money where my mouth is. I put myself out there. I say to people, you wanna be a Chris Upton, do you? Go and open a Patreon site, because you'll make money if you know what you're doing, if you've got the right people following you. But first, you have to build a name for yourself. Why should I just let that name be absolutely mullered by idiots? So go on, go and pay 1,500 quid up front to open up a Patreon site and start making money. Because anybody can feed bullshit on Facebook or on a committee and pretend because you're an officer on a committee that you're very special and you're above everybody else. But if you don't train your dogs and someone else trains your dogs for you, at least have the balls to tell everyone, you might have some more respect. As simple as that. It's quite expensive, you know, having someone, a film star, train your dog for you.
It always seems weird to me to credit the owner and the handler separately in a test trial. No further credits the trainer, which is the only bit that's important.
Exactly. And do you know what? I've run dogs for customers. And if you're working and it's like having a racehorse and you just want someone to run your horse and you want to have the thrill of winning, have a dog that's won, and you take it shooting as well, and you treat it like a proper gun dog instead of just a competition dog, or once it's won competition, you then take it shooting and you make your money on your studs, all the money you've paid out. That's down to each individual. I will never go after one person for that. But if you come into my world giving me shit and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, at some point I'm going to bite. At some point I'm going to get up and bite back. As simple as that.
We have a you were talking about SHIT. We have a crap question. It's from Nick Noonan.
Go on then, Nick Noonan, bring it.
Have you ever seen a dog poo? Clear jelly kind of stuff. I have a 12-week-old Springer, had all his injections. Vet says he's fine. Checked him over twice, but he also said he's never seen it before. So he's crapping clear jelly kind of stuff.
Well, they can strain themselves. But Nick, I'm not a vet. I wouldn't. I've dealt with thousands and thousands of dogs over the years, and yes, sometimes you get a little bit of jelly sort of stuff with dogs that are straining themselves a little bit. But I would tell you if I knew exactly what to do with that, and unfortunately, Nick, I don't. I'm sorry about that.
And Kieran's got a question.
Go on then, Kieran.
So, question: what's the most challenging situation you have been in with a dog as a dog trainer? And don't say Rafa. That's it.
The most challenging situation I've ever been in, when we were kids, and I come from a rough area. Me and my brother are about 7 and 8, 6 and 7 or something like that, and we had no money, and my parents used to work non-stop. They were good, hard-working people, and we used to just like go off for the day. You know what it's like. You're off for the day, you get up to naughty stuff. So the two of us, and we went to this garage, and my brother said, we used to go in there and buy sweets in the garage. It used to be an open forecourt, not like like they are now. And he said, if you go in the shop, he said, and let the bloke chase you. He said, I'll get some sweets and I'll run out the shop. So as I'm going across the forecourt, I see this dog and it starts running, and it was an Alsatian. And I always remember to this day being bit on the arse by this Alsatian, because I ran across the forecourt. As soon as I saw the dog, I was scared of it. I ran across the forecourt, and the only thing I could do is, it was a Morris 1000 sitting on a petrol pump. And so I ran up the back of the Morris 1000 onto the roof of the Morris 1000. The dog come up on the roof and dragged me off the top of the roof. I don't really attack her. And I had a hole in my pants, and I was crying like a baby. Big baby. I like that electric collar. The bloke came out of the shop and said, "Yeah, I'm so sorry. And he gave us a bag of sweets." So isn't it funny how it worked, but in a different way? Sorry, Karen, I was just being an idiot. But what'll happen now? The next video that goes up will be, dog trainer is a thief. I forgot to mention about I was 6 or 7, whatever it was. I may be lying. I can't remember. I may have been 7. Sorry. But I don't think they got any video evidence of it. They didn't have videos in them days. I mean, it just shows how long it was. Longer it was. It was a Morris 1000 I ran on the top of. I always remember it. But when you've had your arse ripped by an Alsatian, trust me. The funniest situation I've ever had is when I was training for the council, people's problem dogs, and people used to get reported to the council, and I used to go around to their houses and sort their dogs out, or they used to come to me. Anyway, this person came to me with Rottweiler, and he was so vicious and so nasty. And because I worked the milk rounds and that when I was a kid, you've been chased for a few dogs, and you learn how to handle yourself, and you learn to stand your ground and bend down and pretend you're going to pick something up and throw it at them, and they stop in their tracks. And so you learn to get hardened up by dogs. Not that you were a bully, but dogs for some reason love to hit people as they come in through the gate with the milk bottles, especially kids. And that's what I used to do. I used to work the milk on those milk floats, those electric ones. Remember that? When we used to have electric vehicles, remember that? Yeah. Now we got electric vehicles, and they last for about 60 miles, don't they? No, not some of these new ones, Chris. So anyway, going back to where was I? I'm going back to why did I go down that road? To see what happens when you're dyslexic. Do you know we've lost 3 people over this story? Milk floats? No. Yeah, milk floats. So what I'm going back is to these problem dogs. So this Rottweiler was biting everybody, and he was frothing at the mouth. They pulled in my yard, and I used to have a rabbit pen on the garden of somebody's garden years ago, and they pulled in with this dog, and this dog was, and the car was shaking, and this freaking froth and everything. This dog was absolutely beside itself. And I thought, oh damn it, oh no, I haven't done any of these before. So I said, okay, then what I want you to do is I want you to put this long line on it. We put the long line on it. I said, no, don't open the door. Don't open the door. But I'll open the door. I want you to drop the long line down at the bottom of the door, and I keep the door closed. And this dog was powerful. And they dropped it down. And so I got the handle of an 8 foot, 10 foot long line, level long line. So I said, you're going to have to trust me here. So as the dog I come to the window quick. As the dog come at me, open the door. I yank the dog out. Old fashioned, yank and crank, Keeler method. But we've all moved on, right? But it works, right? And the dog shot out in surprise, went straight past me. I went back into the car, sat in the car, and closed the door. So now the dog's outside with a line on, looking up at the car, thinking, "What the freaking hell happened there? What the freaking hell happened there?" I thought I was big and scary. And then I just opened the door slowly. He looked at me, come over and licked me. And they went, "I don't believe it." And it was that combination of punishment, surprise, outthinking the dog. And then the dog went, there's no need to be aggressive. He's in the car. He was brave in the car. When he got out, he's a big pussycat. But by God, when you don't work with aggressive cases like that, and you take that stuff on, you better know what you're doing, else you're going to get hurt, especially when you're not using a muzzle. And he was frothing, but he wasn't as bad as. And so with a dog, in dog training, if you don't know what you're doing, you can get hurt. You can get other people hurt. And did I do the right thing at the time? Well, it worked. Was it trial and error? No, it was like, don't get bit.
Snap the dog out of the mindset it was in.
Yeah, exactly. So I learned from it because I thought outside the box. I thought I can't just open the car slowly and again, and you know what? Throw food on the floor so the dog goes for the food. No. Right, and so going back to different aspects of dog training, you learn from your mistakes. You also learn from things that work. But if you educate yourself and you watch other people as well. I didn't have to chop my arm off. No, exactly. Remember Robert? Yeah, that was funny. That was a funny story. I can't give you snowflake in the house. Who's the snowflake?
I think it's ironic name. Your day will come.
Ironic name.
They hide, but they always run. Well, that's probably because that's what he does.
They hide, they always run. Do you know what?
Ironic name, Kieran. He's gone.
but isn't it funny how they love to come in with a false name and they love to be brave? It's timed out for 300 seconds. You can come back in a minute. Ironic name. We'll have a laugh with you if you like. How about that? Should we do it? Should we have a laugh with it, everyone? Should we actually have a laugh with him, or should we just delete the idiots and not bother with them? Because guess what? I'm getting to the point that if he came in and gave us his real name,
He was a bit of a snowflake, wasn't he? Really.
Why's that?
Well, your day will come, and
Yeah.
they hide.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a
Yeah.
bit wimpy, wasn't it?
Brave me anonymous. Exactly. And that's the whole point, because if you were respected big time in the dog training world, people know I can look after myself with my mouth, and they know I can look after myself in the situation of having to deal with the situation, because you have to deal with it within the law of the land, don't you? Simple as that. You don't want to get yourself in trouble, because you know you can't afford to get yourself in trouble after you let the side down, don't you? Simple as that. I just want to train people and train dogs, but if I had half the country in the trial world attacking me because this person was so famous and so wonderful, and they trained their own dogs, and they've been so brilliant with other people. Some people come into it to make money. Some people come into it for the right reasons. See, this is it, Brett. They need to man up, don't they? You know, let's have a debate with somebody who thinks that I don't know what I'm talking about. Man up or frag off. Exactly. See what people doing here? They're not overly rude with you, but we don't even have to tolerate you, because we can just block you. As simple as that. It's so easy. Reported for bullying to YouTube. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Exactly. And that's what they do, isn't it? Keyboard warriors, isn't it? And you'll get one or two because they got nothing better to do than hide behind a screen, because they feel brave behind a screen. Simple as that. And it's not that I go out of my way looking for trouble, but I have a right to defend my good name. Simple as that. But going back to a panel judge, I've fallen out with him because I've actually showed him for being corrupt. A lot of people didn't like him. He had a chance to defend his name, and he walked, and he took 5 committee members with him. This is a Cornwall club. And Karen asked a question, so I'm gonna answer it. What's the most situation you've been in? And I was actually talking to someone today, a panel judge, funny enough. I won't mention which one, but a panel judge, and we were having a laugh. We were having a laugh because that's what we do. We talk in Messenger, we talk in private, we have a laugh, and we know all the gossip, and we know all the stories, and we know everything that's going on in the trialing world, because we keep in touch with each other and we respect each other for the right reasons, right? Because they're decent people. There's some decent people in the trial world. I keep telling you that, but there is some nasty people as well. So go back to this 8-panel judge who's got it in for me. I runs under the first judge. I had a beautiful find of a bird. I remember these runs as clear as day because I'm dyslexic and it's where my mind works. It's photographic. I had a fantastic run. I was in no more than 10 minutes. I had 2 birds, and I was running the last competitor on the other side. So I was running either 16 or 14, whatever, and not 12, whatever it was. I can't remember now. I think it was 12, maybe it's 16. I'm not sure. Anyway, I was the last one to run under this 8-panel judge. And I remember standing in his kitchen 5 years before all this fallout, and he was telling me the way to get somebody if you don't like them is just run them on, because they'll put themselves out. Just let the dog keep hunting. Eventually, the dog make a mistake, and you go, "Sorry, mate, your dog moved a foot, or your dog did something wrong," right? And he said, if you ever get a situation, and I thought, you nasty bastard, that was 5 years before all the shit hit the fan. But when the shit hit the fan, and I knew, I thought, the problem is they show their true colours. They show their true colours, and they think they've got you under their thumb because they're testing you to see if you do anything or say anything. And when I've seen a little bit of corruption, I just turned a blind eye and thought, I'm not interested in that. I'm not going to debate it. I'm not going to get involved with it. So I distanced myself from people. So I stopped going around to see him. And he said, "What's the problem?" And he had a bitch with a litter, and the bitch he'd won with and made her up to champion. And he said to me one day from you, he says, "Do you want a bitch out of this? Do you want a pup out of this bitch?" I went, "No." "Why?" That's just because I just said no. I don't want a bitch out of a pup. I don't want a pup out of a bitch. See that dyslexic again. I don't want a pup out of a bitch that the bitch won because of who he is. It didn't win a merit. It won for who he is under certain people in the country who he's friends with. That's the problem. These circles are bigger than you can imagine, but it's the local little idiots who get poisoned by these comments that these people say. So there you go. So it's the mafia. They run it like the mafia. They don't like me when I tell the truth. the decent people totally understand. And trust me, if you picked on a decent person, a lot of the decent people in the trial world would stand up for them. As simple as that. You'll see who the bent people are, the ones who try and stand up for certain people. As simple as that. That's what happened with Thurston. Chris Thurston Warnock. And guess what? They can sue you if you tell lies, but I've got all the proof here, so I can talk about it. So going back to that trial, first run, brilliant, come on to him, and it was about 3:30, coming up to 3:45. We got onto a first bird, shot it straight out, straight back, got onto the second bird, shot it straight out, straight back. We did 6 birds with Thurston in more than a 30-minute run. And I thought, he ain't going to run me on now. It's getting darker. And the guns could see it was getting darker. It was midwinter, so it was drawing in. The birds should have gone to roost, like. And he just kept going, on. Give him the bird, check the bird, on. It was very, very standoffish because he knew that he wanted it in for me. I knew exactly what he was doing. Anyway, we get straight into another bird, up it gets, and the guns now are frustrated. And the bird must have got up 20 foot, and they both shot it, and both shots crossed it and blew the shit out of the bird. And there was just a big ball of feathers everywhere. Big ball of feathers everywhere. So send your dog. So I sent the dog, picked it, brought it back. He picked the bird up like that and went, "Where's the other judge? This bird is damaged." And the other judge had finished, and we were the only ones left in the trial. And we had 7 retrieves under Thurston, 2 under the other judge. I was banging there for winning it. The gun, as soon as the other judge looked across, and he was looking for the other judge to bring him across to say, "This bird's damaged, check it." The 2 guns said, one of the guns said, "Don't play that one, mate." He said, "We both shot that bird right center of the pattern, and it was no further than 20 foot out, mate." So we went, okay. So he gave me the benefit of the doubt. He wanted to put my dog out for Ardmouth that had 6 retrieves. I'm telling you this, everybody. You don't run trials and have 7 freaking retrieves in an open, right? It's all to do with politics, right? Politics, and it's disgraceful. So what did Chris Upton do? He pulled away from it and just went off training dogs for people and making a name for himself on the internet. That's all he did. Went off making a name for himself on the internet. We get to the awards and they give me a 3rd. He marked me down on purpose. He gave me a 3rd. He didn't even have to give me a 3rd, but he marked me down. He knew, but obviously under the other judge, I must have had a high score because I got 3rd. A great Welsh trier that I respect. I won't name him. I respect big time. Come over to me and said, "Never mind, mate. His day will come." He said, "If I were you, I'd have ripped that up and thrown it in his face. You did the right thing. You didn't show him that it bothered you." Because as soon as you do something at the trial, or you say something, then it's ungentlemanly conduct because you're not happy with what the judge gave you.
Yeah, that's the question, because not the Taylor's caller said, "Chris, when trialing, can you question the judge if you're not happy with it?"
You can, but guess what? They'll turn it around and they'll say, you're just unsatisfied. You're not happy because of the decision you got. You can challenge it. It's not worth challenging it because you might as well go off and do another day. Fight another day. But guess what, everyone? It's a long drive home when you've been nobbled and you've travelled all the way to a freaking trial like that.
And you're biting the steering wheel.
And you're biting the steering wheel, and your dog is sleeping in the box in the back. To be honest with you, I thoroughly enjoyed trialing because I like a little bit of excitement, passion, desire to win. Right? What I can't stand is cheats. I don't throw me toys out the pram. There's only ever been one other incident, everybody, where Chris Upton has actually been questioned at the Kennel Club, and that's with the same A-panel judge who was rude to my 13-year-old daughter, and he said something about me being like Eddie Izzard, and then he said, "I wonder if she takes it up the arse." And I said, "Shut your mouth, as I'll take you back to the car park and fill you in."
You were walking with your your daughter?
I was walking with my daughter, and I always remember another trial bloke says, Chris, leave it, leave it, leave it. I says, no, I've had enough of him. His mouth needs to shut up or come back to the car park. Why? Because I'm old school. I'm old school. What I should have done is ran up to the judge and go, can I make an official complaint about Big Ed? But then don't do that. That's what snowflakes do. Now, if he wanted to go back to the car park, he could have and faced the consequences. And if I'd lost my guns, that's the price I would have had to pay for laying him out in the car park. But he had a 25-stone bouncer at Mothercare. He used to work at Mothercare. He wasn't hard. He used to be a bus driver, but he was that big, and he used to be a bouncer as well in Plymouth. And because he had him next to him, he felt powerful. So the bouncer was looking at me as well. I said, what are you looking at? And he went, you. I said, well, you come back to the car park as well. Because once Chris Upton lost it because of the situation, he wanted to go back to the car park. Now, Macbeth's going to tell everybody. Everybody. Guess what he did? He threatened to take an 8-panel judge back to the car park and fill him in. But guess what?
Lucky I wasn't there.
Lucky Sue wasn't there.
Because they said I would have knocked him out.
Oh, she's brave, isn't she? Women they're brave.
Michael McLachlan said I would have knocked him out.
Yep, I would have been quite happy to knock him out and take the consequences.
Someone's child like that crossed the line, I would have dropped him on his arse.
Yeah, no, he ran up the track, and he reported me to the secretary of the club, and the secretary said, "Stop it! The trial hadn't started. Stop it, boys. Just get on with it. Keep away from him, Chris. He's made allegations against you. Let's just calm it down." So I did. There was no other shit for the rest of the day, right? And then I got a letter then from the club saying that I've ungentlemanly conduct, unprovoked. That was it. Unprovoked, ungentlemanly conduct. What's your, you're guilty or not guilty? It's Kennel Club. This was a letter from the Kennel Club. So I said, not guilty. So they sent witness statements, and all the witness statements are exactly the same, written exactly the same. You wouldn't do that unless you sat in a room together. Are they dumb? Are they dumb? So anyway, I wrote back and said, I would gladly be guilty to threatening aggressive behaviour, but not unprovoked. Guess what? Kennel Club found me not guilty because they believe with my exemplary record of trialing for all those years and never having any bad message, any disciplinary situations at all in all the years I trialed. They said, with this man's record, something must have been said to trigger Mr. Upton to act in that way, but it wasn't the right place to do it. Luckily, it didn't kick off.
And she was only young, was she?
12. She was about 12.
Yeah,
Yeah, my daughter was about 12.
Maybe just into her teens.
What they don't realise, people, is I don't like bullies, but I don't like people being rude in front of my kids or my wife. And when someone is trying to belittle my wife when she's asking a simple question, I have a right to fight back. Do you know we've still got 69 people in it? Is that a very, very bad position to be in? 69, 68. Thank God for that happened. They're all falling out now. But because what's happened, they've come in and they've thought, I wonder what he's going to do tonight. I wonder what he's going to say tonight. But this is my platform. I can talk on this platform. I've never been prosecuted by the Kennel Club for any wrongdoing. I've never been done for animal cruelty, right? And these things I've told you was a long, long time ago. And we can all make mistakes. We can all turn the other cheek. But why should we always turn the other cheek, everybody? Sue, 2052, says Paul Jarvis.
I know. He's put his hands up. I am on it.
She's on it. She's on it. Go on then, Sue.
Right, question. Paul's actually he put his hand up. If you're in a trial,
yeah,
and a double flush gets up, and they shoot a pair, do you send the dog for the first and then back out for the second bird?
Well, most times, if they're close together, the judge will just say send your dog, right? And sometimes if they're shot in different directions, the judge might say, look, I want this one on the left, or I want the one on the right. They'll send you for that one, and then sometimes if you've had a few retrieves, they might bring the other dog across for the other retrieve, especially if they've not had many birds shot at the trial. But you can sometimes just get, right, okay, pick that one, then pick that one. The idea to win a trial, you just want the dog to hunt tight, but within gunshot, a nice, not missing ground. And when I say tight, I'm not talking about a windscreen wiper, boot action dog that a lot of these women like to run, or even some of these blokes these days. They like this sort of little tiny thing that's not much of a challenge. I like gladiators. I like a dog that'll hunt, but is a game finder. So you may have to use a little bit more whistle on that sort of dog, but it's an hunting machine. It makes everybody excited. It gets the juices flowing, as we say. So the idea is you want a good hard hunting dog, smacking cover without being told, very little whistle, bangs out the bird. You want a contact flush. The most important thing that Keith Erlandson told me is you want that contact flush. That's what gets judges' juices flowing, who know what they're talking about, not birds that volunteer themselves as the commentator used to say, because he went across to America and all that. Not a bird that volunteers itself. Martin Dealey, that's what he used to say. You want a bird on the end of the dog's nose that the dog finds it, spins into it, and bangs it out. Nothing better. And we've been putting up. There's another judge. What's his name? Oh, I know, Jeff Devon Jones. He's a panel judge, and he's been putting up lovely little video clips of the dogs of the past, and I've been sharing some of them and explaining about them on Connie Young Talking Patreon and stuff like that. So it gives you a lovely insight into what I like as a hunting dog. Because if I enjoy watching it or I see something that's not right, I will bring it up and talk about it in my private group, because I don't want to upset the whole world out there. I'm not on the internet, everybody, on all these forums. You didn't find me on there arguing with everyone, do you? I did 10 years ago. And you're wasting your time. You're wasting your life. You're wasting your life. Go out, train your dog. Stop worrying about the couch potatoes who sit there giving advice, because everyone's misleading everybody. But guess what? There's a lot of couch potatoes, so I'm going to get a lot of thumbs down on this video. It's life, isn't it?
Another question.
She's on the ball, isn't she? She's pushing me tonight. Go on, another question, Susan.
They're nearly shouting at me, but I've said to them, hang on, you're rolling at the moment.
Go on then.
Kieran asked you a question about what's the most challenging dog that you have for training and stuff like that. But he also asked, I've lost
Keeper. Keeper's the most challenging. I loved him.
No, I've lost it now. Really.
What's your biggest mistake you've learned?
That's the one.
What's the biggest mistake you've learned from
in your time?
Your time. I honestly, do you know what? That's a good question. That's a good question. And see how I didn't just run off the top of my tongue with that.
What's the biggest mistake you've learned from in your time?
Trusting people.
Yeah, you do.
Trusting people. I got too much faith that people aren't as evil as they can be. I got too much faith that people.
I always say that too.
She does. She tells me. She goes, the problem with you, you're a liberal, and you just think everybody's going to have the same attitude as you. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not. I'm nearly perfect, but not perfect. Right? And what I'm saying is, we've all made mistakes in life. We've all done things, but I'm too trusting. I trust people too much, and then they shit on you. It's just, perhaps that's my weakness. Perhaps I shouldn't be so. And I do wear my heart on my sleeve, as you all know. Just there. Okay, go on then. What else? There's no arguing in our group. We're all here to help each other. Let me just say, Steve, we've lost a guy who's a photographer, and he used to make a few comments about things we were talking about. I'm not going to mention his name. He was a photographer, and he said that I'm critiquing other people's videos, and I should just stick to putting up my videos or customers' videos, clients' videos in Patreon. I disagree. I think that the group needs to be open and diverse. I want people to ask questions. I want people to see people's mistakes and learn from those mistakes. It's as simple as that. John Wilson, the most genuine gun dog trainer in the country. I don't know, John. I don't know them all. I like genuine people. It doesn't mean I got to agree with them. I'd rather have a genuine person that I don't particularly like that much, but at least I can know we're communicating with each other in the right way. What I can't stand is snakes, backstabbers, who smile at your face and stab you in the back. And trust me, there's plenty of them in the world. And you'll only get that with knowledge and understanding, because we've had discussions with a number of people recently, and one of the discussions was I only wanted to come in and run my dogs, and that's all I want to do. But I got dragged into the committee. I got asked to come into the committee. When I came in, I wanted to do the job properly, and then I got bullied for doing the job properly. And all I want to do now is keep my name to myself and go out running my dogs again. I totally understand. I totally agree. I got asked to come on the committee. I didn't volunteer to go on a committee. As simple as that. You don't volunteer to be a judge unless you're an arsewipe. No matter what people tell you all around the country, especially freaking in that cauldron.
Can you imagine if he did?
Yeah, but there was a guy called John Barnicott, and he was down here, and he used to wear a cravat, and he used to get in with all the test people and everything. His name was John Barnicott. I've not seen him for years. 20 years. And he said to me with my first winning bitch, "You're so lucky to have such a nice bitch so early on in your career." I said, "You haven't seen a freaking dog I got in the kennel. I won with that one first time out." That pissed him right off. But that's me, isn't it? To some people, I'm going to come across as arrogant and in your face. But the people who really know me, the people who've come here training and know how much I give, how much value I want to give, and how much help I want to give, they're the people that matter, not the arsewipe. Anyway, going back to John Barnicott. John Barnicott actually wrote to the clubs asking, could he judge? He did. And I was on the committee when the freaking letter come through, and they were pissing themselves with laughter. But unfortunately, on these committees, it's run like the Gestapo. Let's just say Karen wanted to join the Duchy club, or let's just say Karen wanted to join the West Dartmoor or the Cornwall club. What would happen is he would need an application to go in. So he'd sign an application, he'd send his money in, and he'd have to have somebody to sign him in. You have two, I think it's two people, I'm not 100% sure, I can't remember. But you have to have somebody to say they know you. And anyway, that goes in front of the committee now, one of the committee meetings, and it gets passed around. Your letter gets passed around. If I know Karen, and Karen called me an idiot one day, and I don't like Karen, or whoever it was who's asking to join the club, I can go, no, I know this bloke, he's not honest. And guess what? Karen don't get on the club. He don't join the club. But the rest of the committee are not allowed to technically tell Karen who objected. It's a bit barbaric, a bit outdated, isn't it? It's a bit outdated. If I had a fallout with Karen because I bought a pop off him, it was useless or it had noise, and I think, oh, I'm not gonna invite him in. And I sat there and watched that shit with 8 panel judges trying to get in on the club, and that's exactly what they do. Another 8 panel judge had a fallout with them, or you didn't judge me like I thought you'd judge me because I would have give you the win if you give me the win. It's pathetic. Blackballed, yeah. Karen would have been blackballed before he started, and that's exactly like it. I don't know about the Freemasons, John, because I haven't got that handshake, mate. But at the end of the day, that's the way it is, everybody. Because Chris Upton took, how many members has the Duchy Club got? Well, if you look on the, funny enough, I looked at this. If you look on the Duchy Facebook site, the page, it's private. You've got to be a member. They've got 230 people, everyone. We've got more in our group. We've got more in our group than you paid up members. You know, they pay, I think it's £10 a year, £12 a year. Now, because it's down Cornwall, it's like the film stars come down here because it's simple pickings to beat these people down here. A lot of the people down here are still dinosaurs, where they've got the facilities up country with the rabbits, the shooting up country, getting dogs hunting tight. Down here, it's a different sort of hunting. It's like going to Wales. Well, I used to travel away to win because you couldn't win here because there was a jealousy. It wasn't that my dogs were better, but what they do, they just set you up. The birds would get up, and the gun would go, and you shoot it. I'm sorry, I couldn't shoot. The bird was going towards that house.
Or we're not shooting any birds over the water.
Yeah.
What do you get?
Yeah, and the river's running like crazy in the midwinter, and it was really cold. And the open stake, and the judge said, right, we don't want any of the guns shooting birds that go across the river, and the river's running fast. And No one got a bird across the river. As soon as Chris Upton comes in, his bitches onto him like a demon. I'm going to say it because I remember it so deeply, and I was really hurting inside. We lost a baby. I'm getting upset already. Sue had a miscarriage, and she said, "No, go trialing." And the trial was on, and I went trialing, and they shot the bird across the river, and the river's running crazy. And the judge said, "Send your dog." I said, "No, I'm not losing my dog on that freaking river. You said no dogs to be sent across the river." And the judge said, "It's the bird's been shot, and it's an easy retrieve." I said, "No, I'm not sending my dog across the river." And because I was emotional, because she just had the miscarriage, I could imagine seeing the dog going down the freaking river and drowning. It was running that fast. I would rather walk away from that trial that day than show off pushing my dog across the river where she stands a chance of drowning on the river. Luckily, the judge didn't. He said, "No, we did say we'd leave that for the pickers up," and we carried on. But it just shows, doesn't it?
But who was the judge?
Judge was Trevor Gussie,
Yeah.
and Thurston was shooting.
All right.
Mm.
Yeah, let the bird go. Let the bird go.
Let the bird go. Let the bird go. He could have killed it way before the river. Sounds like they set you up to fail. Exactly. Now, as soon as you start talking about it, everyone, you're evil, you're terrible, you're a troublemaker, you're looking to trouble. No, I'm talking about history. You don't forget history. You don't bury history. You remember history. You've got the scars. You've got the book. You've seen the play, and you know exactly what these poor people are going through if they're being bullied and intimidated by this new club, or this new setup with these new people on the club. It's not a new club. The club I used to respect. I used to respect the people who run it, and they were running it for the right reasons. Yeah, all clubs have a little bit of disagreements, but there's no need to be bullying and aggressive and terrible. So, like I said to you, I've not named names today, really. I've named one, but I for the rest of my life, I will mention that 8-panel judge, Chris Upton. He is evil. He shouldn't be judging. As simple as that. But people know about it, even in the Southwest. But they know that when Chris Upton stands up and supports himself, he says it the way it is, because that's the way you've got to be. If you're not honest and they catch you out, you're the one left with egg on your face. As simple as that. Anyway, you lot.
No, got a question, important one.
An important one.
Steve Washington. Hi, Chris. I have a new litter of pups. When should I be worming them?
Every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. I mean, sometimes you can go 3 weeks and then start every 2 weeks, because they got, but you want to be worming them every 2 weeks until they're about 4 months of age, right? And then you can go into the normal worming situation. But if once your pups are 8 weeks old, you go to the vet, and the vet will give you the wormer what you need. But I use Durantal Plus puppy wormer. I use a liquid form. You buy a bottle for 25 quid plus VAT, probably 30 quid now, and that will do your whole litter right through from youngster to 8 weeks old. Okay, Steve. So there you go, everyone. Slightly different tonight. I've tried to just mix it up, have a bit of a laugh. We've only had one idiot in here tonight. We actually thought we may have a few more. We just thought the local farming idiots, because a few of them are friendly with each other, and we've had a few comments from a few idiots, just bully boy comments, and it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. But I'm not going to get into an internet fight with everybody. I pick my fights, as simple as that. So, Chris Upton, thanks, Chris. You were a legend. Stop it, Steve Washington. Honestly, I think we got it. I think we have to be honest, and if we want integrity in the sport, then we have to talk about it in an open way. Frank Casey, great night, Chris. So, good night. Thank you, Frank, to you. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm sorry I've gone on one a little bit. I was coming in with the attitude of what do I talk about tonight, and I just rambled. I just ramble. See that? Ramble. I can't wait to get out of this lockdown. We can all go for a ramble, can't we? This lockdown's killing us all, isn't it? Making us all stir crazy. Be safe, everybody out there. Chris Upton signing off. Thanks for tuning in. Good night.